managing partner of Rosecliff Ventures. He's also a host on Fox Business, and he served as a mentor for the New York Edtech Accelerator, powered by StartEd, and is on the host committee of New York Edtech Week. We're thrilled he could be here. He was just in the studio this morning, and here with us, Michael Murphy. Please welcome.
Thank you. Good morning. Happy to be here. And one thing Jonathan did mention, I think that maybe qualifies me more than anything he did say, is that I have 6 young children at home. So education and tuitions and everything that's covered in this conference is something that's very near and dear to me. But now moving on to our panel, I wanted to talk about the people, the esteemed people who are going to be speaking here now. And in New York City, as someone born and raised here, we know that the private sector employment has really picked up recently. There have been 277,000 jobs added since 2014, and that's the highest growth that we've ever seen. A lot of those jobs are in the education sector. Hello again. Just following up with our 2 esteemed speakers, I'm just going to go through kind of a quick question and answer, kind of a follow-up to both of their presentations. And Mark, I'll start with you, if you don't mind. Looking at technology now, so we run a venture capital fund, so we've seen such a huge increase in technology over the course of the last 10 years, or increase in innovation in technology. What's next? What's the next big thing that at Civitas you guys are looking at or looking for that's going to impact education in the years to come?
Yeah, I think part of the conversation is moving away from this idea that there's this almost Cro-Magnon theory out there in the world of higher education, and it's in K-12 as well. And I jokingly call it the Cro-Magnon theory because it's very simple. There are people who just think technology, good. That's the whole theory. And the challenge is that they assume that if you apply technology into education, it will improve the outcomes. What's been great about the work we've been doing at Civitas is it's the idea of being able to kind of look at the learning layer and understand the way in which you use technology. Because what we're going to find, by the way, we found the same thing in healthcare, is there are times when technology is fantastic, the MyChart initiatives, the apps that give you real-time data, but there are times you need to talk to a doctor. There are times you need to talk to a nurse. Same thing in the world of education. There is the ability now to actually try and test and to see how technology can be applied and when and how to use it. And when, by the way, a student needs to talk to another student like them. They need to get a near peer so they can get an idea of how they can succeed. They need to get a mentor to come in and help them get past the sticking point. But then there are plenty of places where technology can just help them make use of good information. Quick example. We have a tool called DegreeMap. And DegreeMap basically lets a student stand on the shoulders of thousands, if not millions of students who came before and say, student like you at this stage, here's the next set of courses you probably should take, based on students who've navigated the journey. What's great about that is you also can say, if you want to change majors, I now can take your course accumulation and do an optimization match against every credential at the institution. And when we've done this in some of our institutions, we've literally found at one institution 600 students who had already earned a degree and didn't know it. Wow. And part of it's just because, again, there's no advisor on the planet unless they're John Nash Jr. that can do that kind of mass optimization, right? And that's where you can use technology in the right place at the right time to help that student understand where am I and what should I do next. That's fantastic. But if I'm truly confused about what I want to be in life, I probably want to talk to a person, right, and have a dialogue. So I think that's the yin and yang of this. And I think with good data and good information, the technology innovation can be better targeted and get away from the Cro-Magnon theory.
I just want to clarify on something from your presentation. Did you say millennials are like the rest of us? Did I hear you say that?
Yeah, I think in a lot of ways it's they're new people to a role or to a company, and they want to understand what their role is and what's expected of them, and all of the technology conversations we've had today. They may be more comfortable with it, but it's the way the industry's moving, so everyone's going to be using that kind of technology.
So, as we talk about big data and we talk about education technology and how we're going to help students learn in a better way, or help people learn in a better way, there's something out there that we talk a lot about in the media where technology is going to replace jobs, and those jobs aren't coming back. I was wondering, could you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, well, at Mach 2.4 there, I had a point on that topic.
Okay.
What's interesting is that all the evidence is telling us that while jobs are being shifted, people are being reallocated, they're not being kind of replaced and sent away. So I think the best way to think about kind of the new responsibilities of people as automation sets in is that now people are going to have to work supporting that technology or work in the fringe areas around the technology. Or because some of the roles are now automated, companies are going to use that to grow, is that folks are going to be kind of starting other aspects of the business. So I think from a corporate learning leader perspective, what that means is the learning function is going to have to prepare people to reskill and take on new challenges, and that's our job.
When you look at the overall picture, or kind of where you see, the higher learning space in 5 years, say, using a 5-year window, has technology taken more of a role and taken that role away from individuals, or is it the same, or how will that look to us in 5 years?
I hope it's better targeted. What I hope is that we can improve the technology and better target it to the places where it's best used. And we also better target, by the way, and make more common the human interactions that make education special. So part of this is actually not just trying to expand technology for technology's sake. The goal is to improve and expand learning. And if we can get dogmatic about saying, what are we doing that is improving and expanding learning, and actually leveraging that data layer. Now, often that data layer, by the way, comes from the technology. If you instrument the technology use in the right way, it creates digital footprints that tell that story. Mm-hmm. But if we can be dogmatic about saying, what is helping our students learn well? What is helping them persist and succeed? Then we can start tuning, testing, trying, and really innovating in the world of education, where we don't end up with simplistic theories. We actually end up with almost student success science, right? I love this notion of student success artistry and science, where we can kind of come in and try to figure out how we make this work. I actually think we're about to move into what could be the golden age of learning, if we're willing to turn the lights on and really take a hard look at what's working and what's not, and kind of get past the kind of old assumptions of what we thought was working in the world of education.
I love it. And Mike, for you, if again, with big data, you hear a lot of people, sometimes push back against it, or, that, the machines could take over. Is that a concern you run up against?
No, I think just to close my thoughts from the presentation is that every individual at an enterprise has something to learn. They can learn from the outside. I would argue that businesses would be best served learning from the people that are already in their organization.
Sure.
And I think technology is developing in a way that gives people a safe place to come together and inform their senior leaders who may be a little bit too close to the headquarters. This is what's really going on. This is what's really happening when we're implementing the policies and procedures that you tell us to implement. And that I think is the next great advantage.
Awesome. I love it. Cool. Thank you both very much for your time.
Sure.
It's been awesome. I know I've learned a lot. Please join me in thanking these two gentlemen. Thank you.
Michael Murphy, who is the founding partner of Rosecliff Ventures. We have Junie Samuels here from Tech NYC. Brad Lane, who's here from the Atlas Capital Partners and Rich Lane LP.
My name's Ryan Austin. I'm the founder and CEO of Expert Knowledge, and we have created Synapse, the learning design system. Not only does Synapse automate the learning design process, but it allows the learning designers for the first time to collaborate in a digital environment, work with stakeholders like subject matter experts, all in one place to design learning experiences, create prototypes, and use blueprints that guide the entire learning development process. We are first to market with the learning design system, and to execute on this multi-billion-dollar industry, we are targeting the 500,000 learning designers with a land and expand strategy to grow into larger enterprise accounts quickly.
Of T3 Interactive, and since we've been talking about communication, I'm going to tell you a little bit about delivering a presentation and telling your story. And now all of you are going to be paying attention to how I'm doing it, so hopefully you can also pay attention to what I'm saying. All of you know how important communication skills are. whether it be in the boardroom or in the classroom, it is critical for us to be able to communicate effectively. How we show up is how we're measured there for that. So we created Presenter. Presenter allows you to practice and get real-time automated feedback. We work on a PC laptop using a Kinect sensor that reads your body, and it gives you feedback on your eye contact, your voice, things like your volume, your filler words, your rate of speech, your body language, the gestures that you're doing, whether or not you're looking at your audience, ultimately allowing you to become a confident speaker.
78% of high school graduates lack basic writing proficiency, and 55% of college graduates say their writing doesn't improve in college. Over $9 billion is spent every year on remedial writing. But when you tell a story, 3 things happen at once in your brain. Your memories, emotions, and desire to act are triggered at once. And the person who hears your story experiences the same 3 things. Story 2 taps into the brain's love of storytelling, teaching people to tell their stories out loud, to write them, and to use their stories to dramatically expand school and work opportunities.
Hiring skilled tech candidates. So we at Skillsonic provide a skill-based recruitment platform which employers can use to screen and recruit top quality tech talent. The way we work is extremely simple. Users can log on to our platform for free and take very quick 5-minute adaptive tests, which gives them a skill score. Based on their skill score and knowledge gap, they can take our personalized course recommendations. And finally, as they improve their skills, they can apply for jobs that they are truly
And our team has significant technology development, design, finance, and international education experience. The problem we're solving is that, as we know, higher education wasn't designed to send students into the workforce. And this is getting a lot more attention lately in the press. And if you look at international students, they find it even more frustrating. About 1 million international students, and many of them complain that they can't even get basic understanding of resume and cover letter, much less figure out how to interview and network. Our solution is an online training platform that connects students with professionals to get coached in the skills they need, especially soft skills, to go into the workforce. It starts with an assessment, which leads to a learning path, directing students down different career options based on their personality, soft skills, and other answers that they provide. We then provide online courses as well as video coaching with different professionals and coaches based on what that student needs. And finally, referrals to internship and entry-level opportunities.
CEO of Learning Game Studios. Coming out of a research network led by MIT, we offer mobile educational games for adult learners and their career pathways. Job openings are at an all-time high, yet employers are struggling to find skilled workers to fill them. Yet research shows us that half of all employees lack the skills they need to advance and succeed. The problem is the foundational part of the career ladder is broken, and the educational providers know their system is broken. 36 million Americans lack basic English language and literacy skills, and nearly double that lack basic math skills. This is a growing market with an over $3 billion annual spend. But we can revolutionize how adult learners get the foundational skills they need for employment.
Cancer, AIDS. These are horrible diseases that affect millions of people. So why is the process of finding cures so slow? Because the major players, academia and government, pharma, private grant agencies, and investors are uncoordinated. Each of them is spending billions of dollars on disjointed scientific research. There is no central data exchange, and data is the lifeblood of discovery. We need to move to data-driven science networks to accelerate the pace of discovery and investment. What the Bloomberg terminal did for finance, Baring is doing for science.
Addresses the challenge of awareness about critical skills and behaviors. We've all experienced gaps in awareness when our reality and our intuition get misaligned. And this misalignment can impede our ability to recognize blind spots and achieve success. And it is a challenge. It is a challenge in the K-12 education market the same way that it is a challenge in the higher ed and corporate worlds. In this context, To Know Me aims to resolve the awareness challenge. The software as a service platform enhances self-awareness, identifies skill strengths and gaps, and addresses skill gaps with personalized learning.